So we're here with Wingate Bulldog head football coach Joe Reich, and getting ready to talk about the 2021 SAC football season. Coach, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks, Christian.
So let's just kind of start off with probably the most obvious question, as 2020 was a challenging year to say the least. And how has that made you adapt or change as a coach, or change your program as you get ready for this year and beyond?
Sure. Well, that's definitely been challenging, and I'm sure everybody will tell you that across the world, across the globe. I think for us it was, there have been a lot of logistical challenges, let alone the mental health issues kind of thing that I think everybody over the last year and a half has kind of had to fight through. Just from the logistics part of it. I mean, some guys that opted out last year that are coming back, other guys that played. We have we have two guys that'll be working on their second master's degrees because they're just, they're at that point. They got the extra year. They didn't play, they played last year. They finished their first graduate program while they're here in what was going to be their senior year. Now they're in the second. So there's just a lot of logistical things with that you don't even think about. Just a lot of all that, guys coming back, some other guys that had transferring back, and to try to tie it all down in the middle of this, and then we had a change in our compliance office too. So we were, we had a person that left and a new person coming in, which we're excited about, but it just has been, that was not the ideal time.
Yeah, to say the least.
But again, it is what it is. I think our people did a great job of kind of managing all that, and as a university, it's been a lot of change this year at the university for sure.
So as you kind of look forward to this season and what's going to happen and everything, what kind of what do you think, in order for your team to be successful, who's going to have to step up and really kind of make an impact?
Sure, I would say, offensively, to me, it's a wide receiver group. I think we're very talented there. We're very talented there, but we're waiting for that group to really progress to the next step. To really become the playmakers that we know all of those guys can be. I really think that group is really talented, and I think Jarrett Boykin, he's been here for a year now, but our receivers coach, in his first full season now since the pandemic, I really like the way he coaches these guys. I really like his approach to everything, and now it's getting that time. Okay, we want to see that come to fruition. We want to see those guys step up and take that to the next level, because we really feel like that group is so talented that there's no reason why we should be average there, which we're not going to be. But we want those guys to step. And I think, I coached the running backs. I think the running backs to a certain extent in the spring, I felt like we got what the O-line gave us. And that's not our thing. Our running backs need to be backs that get the extra yards, to make the first guy miss, run through the first tackle, and then get great yards after contact. So I think that combination of the two is going to be, I'm looking forward to that, to seeing where those guys progress. Shaw Crocker, our quarterback, essentially will be in his, I don't know if we call the spring season a season or not, but if we call that a season, then he's coming into his fourth year as a starter, and he'll only be a junior. And I would anticipate that we'll see Shaw take that next step that you would anticipate, going from being a sophomore to a junior kind of thing. And he's another guy. He's going to graduate school now, technically going into his junior year. So there's a lot of logistical things you got to work. But I would say that group offensively, defensively, we're going to be deep in the secondary, we feel like, so we feel good there. Our linebacking core will be new but really talented. The first group will be really talented. Our linebacking core last year was dynamite, in 2019. So in the spring, that group was a new group, the group that hadn't started, but they're very talented, and we got a couple good young guys behind them that had really good summers. So they're coming back. Today was our first practice, so we feel like that group is going to be really good. But again, it's maybe sort of like the wideouts, they're guys that really could step up and take control. D-line should be good. They're a veteran group coming back. Kicker and punter come back. got a couple returners coming back, so we feel pretty good about all that part of it.
So you mentioned you guys have a lot of leadership coming back. Obviously, some good quality upperclassmen and guys that have played a lot. What kind of new faces do you guys have coming in this year?
Sure, I think I think probably the biggest impact by any young guys will be made by guys that were freshmen in the fall of last year. The true freshmen, I think they have a chance to come, but we have so many guys back that I'm not anticipating a lot of the true freshmen coming in and playing at this particular. Brandon Perry has a possibility of playing from Porter Ridge High School, which is local to us. He's a really, really talented defensive back. He's got a chance of coming in and playing right away. Just when you step back and you look at high school recruiting film, but you never until you get those guys here. I think we have a couple transfers that have come in, a couple of receiver that potentially could help us out. But we'll see over the course of the next couple of weeks. So I'm not anticipating a lot of new faces that are going to really come in as true freshmen and help us out. Like I said, maybe a couple of those transfer guys.
All right. Well, as we kind of, you've touched a lot about this season and everything. As we look past this year and into 22 and then even beyond that, we've got Emory and Henry, Barton, Erskine, and then, a little further down the road, Anderson joining us. What does that do for the SAC and for football?
Well, I think it's great. I'm excited, when it was brought up, hey, these couple teams are joining the league. When Patrick Britz kind of said to us, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're looking at dividing up into two divisions and playing a championship game. And I can be honest with you, that fired me up. I was, not that it takes a lot to fire me up, but I was pretty fired up about that. I think that's gonna be a great format. I think it's a great format that we're gonna have we can go cross division games. And then you have the final game at the end, and you're guaranteed a game at the end either way. And hopefully, we'll be playing for conference championship then. But I think our guys will like the idea of playing in a conference championship game. You have that opportunity, and you have that ability. Obviously, we want to go to the national playoffs, and I think the team that wins you win the conference championship game, you're pretty much guaranteed. Although it's not an automatic bid, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to go. There's a possibility, I think, down the road that it could potentially hurt a second or third team getting in the playoffs. But it could go. It could go the other way. It could actually help a second or third team. So you can't predict what's going to happen there. I'm excited about it. I think those teams will add something to our mix. It'll add something to the region of football down here, and I just think the whole way that we're splitting with the division is I think is awesome.
Well, we're very excited about it from our office and the league standpoint. I think it's going to be fun. We've never, as you very well know, we've never had a championship game really, and to be able to do that is going to be fun.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's funny because I'm almost like, can we do that now? Can we just
right? Can we do it now? Let's do it this year.
Yeah, I mean, we did it in the spring, kind of, ad hoc a little bit. But now, I'm like, this is. As soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, okay, I like this. I like this format. I'm juiced up about it. I think that'll be a great thing for us.
I think it's gonna be fun. So, kind of last question I've got here, and this is a little bit more of a fun one. What team do you feel is your biggest rival in the SAC?
We get that a lot. It's funny. We get asked that question a lot. Back before I got here a bazillion years ago, Wingate and Gardner-Webb used to be rivals. Yep. So we lacked that natural rival. And one of our things, so we get asked a lot. I think one of the things that we've always said is, we treat everybody the same. And the players, in fact, we just talked about it the other night on a team meeting. Like the first game we opened against Shaw, and as far as we're concerned, Shaw is the world champions. We go into Shaw saying, this is the only team that matters. They're our rival right now. And so we really don't play that. Now, what we anticipate is you want to get a little bump out of, a team like LR who they last year we played them, or 2019 we played them, we were undefeated, they were undefeated. In that moment, they become your natural rival. They become the rival. In that moment, that builds up to that moment. They have Catawba, that's their normal. So it really becomes more kind of who's the team of the year that, really team of the year, team of the week, team of that particular time. I like the way we approach that. We don't put an emphasis on any one team that, hey, this is the team. We are who we are. We prepare how we prepare. And but the fun part about it is, how do the players handle it?
Yeah.
Who do they see as being, who do they really get jazzed up to play? And we kind of let that happen naturally, kind of organically. And then, it really, as you'll kind of see certain teams that, based on the year, or even recruiting wise, maybe certain guys know guys on their team because they know a lot of our guys, and it just kind of juices them up a little bit. So sometimes it's the weirdest thing. You play a team that, is maybe not in the mix that much, but our guys for some reason get fired up about playing them. So, all right, who might have told them no?
Yeah, right. You're fired up. Let's go play. That sounds great.
Yeah. So that's exactly right. As long as you're fired up, I don't care why. Let's go.
Well, hopefully with the when we get into this divisional play and stuff, we may get some of those natural rivals just may come out of that, which will be kind of fun to see. Again, one of the things I'm kind of looking forward to, as you said, LR and Catawba have their little thing. I know, Newberry and kind of Limestone have developed one a little bit, in the sense they're both in South Carolina, and you got Tusculum and Carson Newman. I'm sure we'll have Wise and Emory and Henry and things like that, but it'll be nice to see where some of the other ones, pan out here over the time.
We're kind of out here all alone, like
right,
nobody,
right.
It's been that way for 20 years though. So like I said, we just keep going.
Get Coker on the phone. They're only 50 miles down the road. See if they'll
right.
add the football team. You'd be all right.
That's exactly right. Let's go.
Exactly. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time. Looking forward to another great year of SAC football, and we're playing it in the fall, which for me is even better than playing it in April. It'll be a more normal year, hopefully, for sure.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. All right, thanks, Christian. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Joe.